presentation of Professor Brand's last moments scene. For me, it's one of the most important scenes of the movie, if not the most important one. Professor Brand's final moments in Interstellar, the 2014 movie by film director Christopher Nolan, are the moments where the truth appears and is said. Professor Brand, Michael Caine, is on his deathbed, with the starry backdrop of space. Earth is dying from blight and dust storms. Humanity's survival hinges on NASA's plans. This moment occurs midway through the film, bridging Earth's crisis and the astronaut's journey. The recurring poem, "Do not go gentle into that good night," is said by Professor Brand on his deathbed. The poem was composed by Dylan Thomas, 1951. It is recited by Brand mainly throughout the movie. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. These poetic words symbolize defiance against death and extinction. Brand urges fighting for survival. In his last recitation, it's personal. He's raging against his own impending death and humanity's fate. The poem frames Brand's philosophy, repeated to inspire the Lazarus pilots and Cooper. The deathbed scene is a confession. Brand confesses to Murph. He never solved the gravity equation needed for Plan A, evacuating Earth's population via massive space stations. He admits knowing it was impossible for years but perpetuated the lie to keep hope alive and motivate the team. The scene provokes an emotional breakdown. I lied to you, to everyone. This shows his internal conflict, sacrificing truth for a hypothetical greater good, and at the cost of betrayal. This revelation shatters Murph's trust, highlighting themes of deception in the name of survival. The real aim of the Lazarus mission. 12 astronauts sent to scout habitable planets in another galaxy via wormhole. Public aim, Plan A: find a new home, solve gravity to lift humanity off Earth. The true aim, confession reveals Plan B, is not the public aim and was always the real aim. Colonize with frozen embryos. Abandon Earth's population to die. Brand's reckoning. He grapples with the ethics. Populate, don't evacuate. The dying Professor Brand admits the mission was always about restarting humanity, not saving it. The poem tie-in, rage against the dying of the light, justifies the deception as a fight for the species. Lazarus refers to biblical resurrection, ironic given the mission's sacrificial nature. The deathbed scene has a moral dimension. Brand dies with regret, but his lie propelled the mission forward. The recitation of the poem serves as a mantra for perseverance, contrasting the harsh reality. The film's message is ambiguous. Sacrifice, truth versus hope, and humanity's will to survive are certainly part of it. The scene sets up Murph's breakthrough and the film's resolution. Nolan uses this scene to underscore ambiguity in paternal love, scientific ethics, when opposed to cosmic scale. As a brief summary, let's say that Brand's deathbed confession exposes the Lazarus mission's core as a desperate gamble on Plan B, framed by defiant poetry. Explanation of Professor Brand's last moments in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, 2014. Professor John Brand's deathbed scene is one of the film's emotional and thematic pinnacles, blending personal regret, philosophical defiance, and a stark revelation about humanity's survival strategy. This moment occurs in the secret NASA facility on a blighted Earth, where Brand, played by Michael Caine, the brilliant but flawed physicist leading the project, confronts his mortality and the consequences of his choices. I'll break it down step by step, emphasizing the poem, his confession, and the reckoning with the Lazarus mission's true purpose, while weaving in how these elements serve the film's broader narrative. 1. Contextual setup. The lead-up to his death. By this point in the movie, Earth is on the brink of collapse due to environmental catastrophes. NASA, operating in secrecy, has launched the Lazarus missions, named after the biblical figure raised from the dead, to explore potential habitable planets beyond our solar system, accessed via a wormhole near Saturn. Professor Brand is the intellectual architect, promising two plans. Plan A. Solve the equation for gravity manipulation to build massive space stations and evacuate Earth's remaining population. Plan B. If Plan A fails, use frozen embryos carried by the astronauts to populate a new world, effectively restarting humanity while leaving Earth behind. Brand has been a father figure to many, including his biological daughter Amelia, Anne Hathaway, and surrogate daughter Murph, Jessica Chastain, as an adult. As his health fails from old age and the stresses of the project, he admits or reveals a lie in a dimly lit room, hooked to machines with Murph by his side. This intimate setting contrasts the film's epic space visuals, grounding the story in human frailty. 2. The poem is a recurring motif culminating in defiance. Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas is recited multiple times in the film, often by Brand himself, serving as a leitmotif for resilience. It's a villanelle, a structured poetic form with repeating lines that urges resistance against death. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. In Brand's final moments, he whispers these lines with labored breath, his voice fading. Here, the poem transcends personal death. It represents humanity's rage against extinction. Brand has used it earlier to inspire the Lazarus pilots, including Cooper, played by Matthew McConaughey, framing their suicidal one-way trips as heroic defiance. On his deathbed, it's a personal reckoning. Brand is the old man raging, but also accepting that his light, life and lies, is dimming. Nolan intercuts this with space sequences, amplifying the poem's cosmic resonance. The repetition builds emotional weight, symbolizing how hope, or illusion, fuels survival, even as reality closes in. 3. The confession. A moment of raw honesty and betrayal. As Brand weakens, he turns to Murph, who has been working tirelessly on the gravity equation he claimed was solvable. In a hushed, tearful admission, he reveals the truth. Plan A was always a fabrication. He confesses that he solved part of the equation years ago but realized it required data from inside a black hole. Impossible without the astronauts' mission succeeding first. Knowing this, he lied to everyone, including Murph and the team, to maintain morale and prevent societal collapse. Key dialogue snippet. Brand. Murph, I lied to you.
Hello,
Plan A
Cooper.
was a lie. I couldn't reconcile the
Brand.
equation without the data from the black
Explain
hole.
to me how you found this facility.
He admits the deception was deliberate.
Cooper.
People need hope. They wouldn't work if they knew the truth. This confession is Brand's moral reckoning, a cathartic unburdening that exposes his hubris and desperation. He's not a villain. He's a pragmatist who believed the lie was necessary to propel Plan B forward. Yet, it shatters Murph, who feels personally betrayed, echoing her childhood resentment toward her father's departure. Cinematically, Nolan uses close-ups on Kane's weathered face, soft lighting, and Hans Zimmer's swelling score to heighten the intimacy and tragedy. The scene underscores themes of paternal sacrifice. Brand fathered the mission at the cost of truth, mirroring Cooper's abandonment of his family. 4. Reckoning with the Lazarus mission's real aim. The heart of Brand's confession is the demystification of the Lazarus missions. Publicly, they were sold as scouts for Plan A. 12 brave souls, like Lazarus Rising, venturing to 12 potential planets to find a new home for all humanity. Brand's optimistic speeches, laced with the poem, painted them as saviors. But the reckoning reveals the cold reality. The missions were always geared toward Plan B. With Plan A impossible, the true aim was to identify a viable planet for colonization via embryos, ensuring humanity's genetic continuation, not its wholesale rescue. Brand admits he prioritized the species over individuals. We must think not as individuals but as a species. This is his ethical calculus, deceived to motivate, sacrifice the many for the future few. In his dying breaths, Brand grapples with this. Regret flickers in his eyes, but he clings to the poem's defiance, whispering it as justification. It's a profound moment of self-awareness. He knows his lie doomed billions but might save the human spark. This ties into Nolan's exploration of time, relativity, and morality. Brand's short-term deception enables long-term survival, influencing the film's time-bending climax where Murph solves the equation using future data. 5. Broader significance in the film. Brand's death isn't just a plot pivot. It's a thematic fulcrum. It humanizes the sci-fi spectacle, showing how personal lies underpin grand endeavors. The poem evolves from inspiration to irony, raging against the light while accepting darkness. His reckoning forces characters and viewers to confront uncomfortable truths. Is hope worth deception? The scene propels Murph's arc, leading to her breakthrough, and reinforces Interstellar's message of love transcending time and space. Overall, this sequence is Nolan at his best, intellectually dense, emotionally raw, and visually poetic. It leaves audiences pondering the cost of ambition, much like Brand himself in his final rage.